John George Haigh, a name that sends shivers down the spine, a name whispered in fear. The acid bath murderer. His crimes? Unthinkable. His cruelty? Unmatched. He was a man who turned the darkest corners of human nature into a chilling reality. He lured, he killed, he dissolved. Using acid to erase his victims, he believed he could erase his sins. A monster in human skin. His eyes, cold and calculating, revealed nothing of the horrors he committed. Haigh was a con man, a master of deception, a thief, driven by greed. He manipulated and stole, always looking for the next big score. He craved wealth, an opulent life. The finer things in life were his ultimate goal, and he was willing to kill to get it. No price was too high, no life too precious. He believed he could escape justice. He was wrong. The law caught up with him, and his reign of terror came to an end. Haigh's childhood? Isolated, confined by tall walls. His parents devoutly religious. They instilled fear of sin, punishment. This isolation twisted his mind, sowed the seeds of darkness. As a young man, Haigh turned to crime. Petty theft at first. He craved wealth, the easy life. His crimes escalated, fraud, forgery, always running from the law, always failing. Haigh's method was gruesome. He lured his victims, friends, acquaintances, anyone he could exploit. He shot them, coldly, efficiently. Then the acid, sulphuric acid. He dissolved their bodies, erased their identities, or so he thought. This, he believed, was his shield. No body, no crime. A fatal miscalculation. His victims varied. They came from different walks of life, different backgrounds, but they all shared one crucial trait. They were wealthy. They trusted him, a fatal mistake. He stole their money, their possessions, and their identities. After dissolving their bodies, he forged documents to assume their lives. He became them on paper. The Hendersons, a wealthy couple, were among his most notable victims. He befriended them, gaining their trust over time. Then he lured them to their deaths, using their trust against them in the most sinister way. He moved into their home, living in their space as if it were his own. He sold their belongings, erasing their existence piece by piece. He thought he was invincible, that his meticulous planning would keep him safe, but he was wrong. The law eventually caught up with him, bringing his reign of terror to an end. His confidence grew. His arrogance blinded him. He made mistakes, small at first, but enough. The police became suspicious. They investigated. They found inconsistencies. His lies unraveled. He had underestimated the detectives. They pieced together his movements, his victims. The evidence, though dissolved, lingered. Gallstones, dentures, fragments of bone. The acid couldn't erase everything. The trial was a sensation. The public was horrified by the gruesome details of his crimes. John George Haigh, known as the acid bath murderer, had shocked the nation with his cold-blooded methods. The acid he used to dissolve his victims' bodies was a chilling testament to his callousness. The sheer brutality of his actions left everyone in disbelief. Throughout the trial, he remained calm and arrogant, showing no remorse. He pleaded insanity, hoping to escape justice by convincing the court of his supposed mental instability. Haigh believed his own lies, thinking he could outsmart the legal system. His confidence was unnerving as he recounted his heinous acts with a chilling detachment. But the jury saw through his facade. They deliberated and found him guilty, rejecting his insanity plea. The evidence was overwhelming. The judge in his sentencing called him wicked and devoid of humanity. He handed down the death penalty, ensuring justice for the victims and their families. Haigh's reign of terror was finally over. Yet the horror of his crimes lingered, a dark chapter in criminal history that would never be forgotten.